During this time, the daughter's mom throws the boy into the water. Seeing this, Mora gets panicked. The rain begins to start and they've killed that child. When they come down, the captain asks Mora, "What is the truth? Tell me something. I've found the list of passengers from the Prometheus ship. In this, your name is also included. Who are you?" A light emerges from there, and the boy who was thrown into the water. He comes out as he came from Prometheus' ship. This time, he hugs Mora. All the passengers were shocked to see him. No one understood what was going on there. At first, they wanted to know about the boy, but now they want to know about Mora, who she was and how her name was included in the passenger list of Prometheus' ship. We see the past life of Mora where she has worn the dress of mental asylum. She was captured, and she said to a man, "I know what you've done with Prometheus' ship and its passengers." This was the scene we saw at the start of the film. A few people captured her and made her sit on a chair. They injected it into her neck, and she fainted. When she restores her senses, she finds herself on the ship, where all the passengers have locked the boy into that cabinet. When Mora goes forward to save that child, a passenger shoots at her. Daniel comes to save her, and everything is stopped there. Mora has brought that child out now. When Mora asks what happened, he doesn't tell her and takes her with him. But after that, everything has been fine. The captain holds Daniel and asks what is going on. "I've seen you talking to Mora. Are you involved with each other?" And the girl asks him to calm down. His sister died, but time stopped there. They heard the tickling of the clock loudly, and they all were hypnotized. After a while, all the passengers start to jump into the water. Seeing this all, Mora again asks the boy, "What is this going on?" The child writes on a piece of paper saying "keep quiet" and gives her. "Someone is hearing us." The child comes to Mora and whispers, "I can tell what is going on. If you want to know, you've to meet the creator." Who this creator was, we'll know later. There, many passengers were giving their lives while jumping into the sea. Now, the child leaves that insect and chases it, and Mora also goes after him. She reaches the place where the people from the asylum have caught her. When Daniel comes to Mora's room, he sees the same secret. From its path, Mora goes after that child. After opening it with the remote, he also goes inside. When Daniel meets that boy, he tells him that they're watching us. "I'm assured that soon we'll find the truth." Daniel tells that boy to stay there. "If you come to the ship, they'll kill you." After finding you on the ship, all the passengers were tying them, because they were jumping from the ship after being hypnotized. Daniel goes to the control room of the ship and fixes it. Meanwhile, a man attacks him. After pressing the remote that Daniel has, he faints a man. Mora was in the asylum and she goes into the room, whose number was 1011. She was there on the ship in the same room. It seemed like everything was interrelated. Later, she sees an old man and asks him, "Where is my brother?" But a few people hold her and inject her. Later, Mora wakes up in the ship and the captain holds her there. He asks her, "Who are you? And what is this, which is happening to us on the ship?" Mora tells the captain that she is the daughter of the ship's owner. Her dad has manufactured these ships for experiments. "I received the letter from my brother 4 months ago. Who wants to meet me, but we can't meet. He has to tell me about the secret of Prometheus' ship. Whatever we're seeing here is an imaginary world. You can call it a fake world. We've been stuck in a world from which it is impossible to get out." Later, she sees an insect and holds it, and they follow it. They've reached the forest, their imaginary world. There the captain sees his house and thinks about how it came here. We see the ship's officer on the ship. He has the same remote that Daniel had. After a while, the captain and Mora come to the ship. Both were quite worried and Mora tells the captain, "I was a doctor in a mental asylum, but my memory was removed. I even don't remember that I was on the Prometheus ship." He shows her a letter and tells her, "I was the captain of the Prometheus ship." He also didn't know how he was the captain of the ship. Daniel has fixed everything on the ship with his remote. All the passengers have now stopped jumping from the ship. All the rescued passengers came to the rooftop where the ship's officer came. He says, "We've been instructed to drown this ship." Daniel comes and tells everyone, not Prometheus' ship but this one. The people of the company want to destroy this ship. We see the same old man that Mora has also seen. A man comes to him and tells him that they've received a message from the ship. He says, "I know it is soon to be destroyed. sunk. The man asks to bring that child who was on the ship. Later, he puts the curtain of his room aside. We saw a pyramid far away, and on the ship, everything was changing. There the black rubber-like things were emerging from the roof. The captain and Mora again reach the asylum. Mora tells the captain that my dad has built this asylum in commemoration of my mom, because she was forgetting things slowly. My dad wanted my mom to be cured, and he wanted to read her mind. After going ahead, they open a window and see a corner of a ship. Everyone was watching their past lives on the ship. The officer of the ship locks himself in the same cabinet where the child was locked. A sharp light was emerging from it. In the asylum, Mora tells the captain that the child has told her that someone has kept an eye on us, and if we want to know the truth, then we've to reach the creator. On the ship, the sister of the dead girl could also see her past life. She becomes afraid to see it. The ship starts again. When they checked its manual, only one thing was written on it. Before the truth about the ship is revealed to them, the influence of coffee will be started on them. It was like a riddle. The ship's officer has come to that old man, which means he was with him. The old man says you've to bring that child to me, because he has a pyramid and all the people on the ship will be lost after getting into their imaginary world. The ship will be ruined. When Mora was with the captain in the asylum, she saw the black things emerging from the ground. When she tries to touch them, Daniel comes and holds her, and says, "Do you know me? Do you remember anything?" When the captain stops him, he sends him into another world with that remote, where he has seen his daughters burning. But Mora doesn't believe Daniel's words and locks him in a room. After coming out, when she throws the gun with her hands, she feels a wall there. She understands that everything is present on the ship. The captain has now come on the ship, where he sees many similar ships there. We learn about the past life of Mora and Daniel. Actually, she was Daniel's wife. When Daniel comes out of his imaginary world, he asks about his remote. Mora doesn't tell him about anything, and when she comes to the ship, she sees a big storm is about to hit there. There, the ship's officer opens a device after coming into a room and tries to find the child and the captain. Mora goes into Daniel's room in a secret way and reaches a room where she sees pictures. It means Daniel was her husband, and the small boy was her son. Daniel has also found his son after going into another world. His son gives her a ring and says, "Now she will awake," and Daniel comes to Mora. He tells her that this boy is our son, and whatever you see, this is just an imaginary world. Later, the sirens begin to ring on the ship. Now, the old man who was seeing the time, 21 minutes were left. It means this imaginary world will end within 21 minutes. Daniel brings Mora to the ship and tells her that there are 21 minutes and then the imaginary world will end. And after that, it will end. But we can solve it with the help of a code that only you know. Mora doesn't know what the code is. She gives Daniel a key after bringing it out from her locket. She says maybe this key can open the code. After going to a room, he begins to fix the device. He says, "Mora, if this all becomes fine, still, the round will restart of this fake world, and this has happened to me many times. That's why no ship could reach its destination. Because of the storm, everything on the ship was breaking, and people were dying because of being stuck in it." The officer comes to the old man while taking that child. The old man talks to Daniel and Mora. He says if you want to save your child, then you've to give this key to me, which you have, and Daniel agrees to this all. He was ready, and the old man has the same pyramid. He opened it and there was a keyhole in it. The key could be fixed, and there were only 10 seconds in the timer. The ship was about to vanish and was sent to the same place, where all the ships have vanished, the graveyard of the ship. The ship was standing with all the ships that have vanished yet. All the passengers were on the ship and were thinking about what was going on with them, and the captain came on the ship again. He asks Mora, "Why is this happening to us? No one is able to know the secret behind it." Mora tells everyone that my dad has made this ship for experiments. Whatever you're seeing and feeling is a fake world, nothing else. She says my memory was erased. I've only one key, and if we get out of here, I'll surely try to memorize it. On the other side, the old man takes Mora's son to another room. Here it is revealed that the old man was no one else but Mora's dad. He tells him about a theory. He says some people keep on missing their past things while trapped on the ship. Your mom wanted to know about this thing, and after understanding this, her life was spoiled. According to the theory, the life in which you are isn't your real life, but a fake and imaginary world. All humans are being controlled by someone. As we are controlled by God, we are all toys for him, and the world is just a dollhouse for you that your mom has made, and she has its keys. On the ship, it is shown that all the passengers have gone to their past lives, but return to the ship after a while. Mora again goes to the asylum with the captain, where the ship's officer comes and asks her for the keys. Later, after pressing a button from the remote, he faints the captain and takes Mora with him. Mora meets her dad there and he takes the keys from her. The room converts into an asylum. Her dad tells her that you've created this world, and you are the creator of it. Mora says, "No, I've not made it." But later she fainted. As his father puts this key into the pyramid, she couldn't wake up in the real world because Daniel has changed its stimulation. He has changed the world of this fake world. Later, Mora restores her senses and Daniel is in front of her. He has a ring in his hand, and she asks Daniel, "Am I in the real world? Is everything real?" He says no, this is the world that we've created. Nothing is made up of the pyramid your dad had. He shows her a new pyramid, whose code was inside Mora's ring. Daniel tells Mora, "Your brother is controlling this all, no one else. Your dad is also stuck in this world just like we are. Mora, before your brother could know about this all, you've to wake up in the real world." Mora puts her ring into that pyramid, and she wakes up in the real world. She sees, along with her, everyone is having a machine on their head. When Mora looks outside, she sees a spaceship. She receives a message there. In this, she was informed that it is a Prometheus project. It has the same number of passengers as it was on the ship. She sees the present date written. Her brother tells her, "Hello, sister. You're welcome into the real world." Along with this scene, the first season of 1899,